The fate of Sciron, the bandit of the cliffs. The wind howled over the cliffs of the Saronic Gulf, where a narrow, treacherous path clung to the rock face between Megara and Corinth. To the west, sheer cliffs plunged into the raging sea, the waves crashing relentlessly against the stone. To the east, towering mountains loomed, casting jagged shadows that stretched like dark fingers across the ground. Few dared to walk this path alone, for it was said that none who met him ever returned. Sciron, a name spoken in hushed whispers. A name that turned the bravest of travelers pale with fear. The stories were always the same: an old man weary from the road seated upon a rock. He asked only for a simple kindness, that passers-by kneel and wash his feet. A humble request, a trap. For the moment a traveler lowered themselves, Sciron struck. With a kick mighty as a battering ram, he sent them tumbling over the edge where the sea waited, not with open arms but with open jaws. Below, in the depths of the churning water, a monstrous turtle lurked, its shell dark and ridged like ancient armor, its gaping maw eager for flesh. It had fed on countless souls, their bones lost to the tides. And Sciron laughed. He reveled in their terror, their final, desperate cries drowned by the howling wind. He was the master of these cliffs. None had ever bested him until now. On this day the cliffs bore witness to a new traveler. He walked with measured steps, his form carved from strength, his shoulders broad with the weight of battles won. His tunic, fastened by a bronze clasp, barely concealed the hardened muscle beneath. His eyes, blue as a storm-tossed sea, were sharp, scanning the road ahead. Theseus, the son of Aegeus. The hero of treason. The slayer of Periphetes, the bandit with the iron club. The conqueror of Sinis who tore men apart with trees. He had come not by accident nor by ignorance but by choice. He had heard the tales. He had listened to the warnings of merchants and travelers alike. Avoid the road to Corinth, they said. Go inland. Take the longer path. But Theseus did not avoid dangers. He sought them. His footsteps echoed against the stone, steady and unhurried. Ahead, perched on a smooth rock beside the path, sat Sciron, a massive figure. The bandit watched as the young warrior approached, his cracked lips curling into a grin. He was larger than the stories described, broad as an ox, his beard wild and tangled with salt. He leaned lazily on his staff, his thick fingers wrapped around the gnarled wood. His eyes, dark and calculating, gleamed with amusement. Well, well, Sciron rumbled, his voice like rolling thunder. Another traveler come to test fate. Theseus did not slow. He merely studied the man before him, his gaze unflinching, cool as the wind. Sciron chuckled. Tell me, boy, do you know where you are? Yes, Theseus replied. I know exactly where I am. Sciron raised a thick brow. And yet you keep walking. I do. A pause, then Sciron sighed, shaking his head. Fools and heroes, he muttered. They always taste the same. He straightened, planting his staff into the ground, and gestured to the boulder beside him. But I am a generous man, he continued. I ask only for a small favor before you pass. My feet are filthy from the dust of the road. He wiggled his gnarled toes. Kneel, wash them, and you may go on your way. Theseus did not answer immediately. He tilted his head, glancing at the path ahead. Is that all you ask? That is all, Sciron said, smiling. Theseus exhaled through his nose. Strange, he mused. I have heard many tales of this road. Stories of travelers who stop to help an old man, and are never seen again. Sciron spread his hands. Do I look like a monster to you? No, Theseus said. You look like a liar. The grin vanished from Sciron's face. What did you say? I said, Theseus repeated, stepping closer, that you are a liar. You are no feeble old man. You are a butcher of men. You throw them to the sea. You feed them to your beast. Sciron's jaw tightened. He had expected fear. He had expected hesitation. He had not expected defiance. "You are a sharp-tongued boy," he growled. "But words do not matter on these cliffs. Only strength." He spread his thick arms. "So then, if you think me a liar, prove me wrong." Theseus took a breath. Then without another word he crouched. Sciron's lips curled in triumph. Another fool. Another victim. The moment Theseus reached forward, Sciron struck. His massive legs swung in a brutal arc, aiming to knock the hero backward into the abyss. But Theseus was ready. Like a coiled viper he moved, ducking beneath the strike and seizing Sciron's ankle in a vice grip. With a roar he twisted, yanking the bandit off balance. Sciron stumbled. For the first time in his wretched life he was the one teetering at the edge of the cliff. His arms flailed, seeking purchase, but Theseus was unrelenting. With a final Herculean effort he heaved, and the bandit's bulk went tumbling over the precipice. Sciron's scream ripped through the air. For a moment he clutched at the stone, his massive hands scrabbling for a hold. He looked up, desperate, panicked. But Theseus merely stared down at him, his expression cold as the wind. Then with the slightest motion he lifted his foot and kicked. Sciron's grip failed. With a final, terrible cry he plummeted. Below the sea churned. The great turtle, always waiting, rose from the depths. Its beady eyes fixed on the falling figure. Its mouth, an abyss lined with jagged ridges, gaped wide. And then in a single sickening snap, the monster claimed its master. The sea swallowed them both. Theseus exhaled, the wind whipping through his curls. He watched for a moment longer, then turned, setting his gaze on the path ahead. The road was clear. Justice had been served. And the legend of Theseus continued.